Okay, so I'm gonna kind of do a process video on some pages I'm catching up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days to catch up on. I've got all the page sets done for it, and we'll just see how it goes. Most of it's set up and ready to go. It's going to be a lot of gluing, but I had several people that wanted to see that, so I'm sharing it. But basically what I do is I go through and I print out all my photos. I don't have the plan for the page so much in my head when I print the photos. I've done it for so long. I know that usually they run between 2-inch photos and 3-inch photos, or different things. And so I just kind of print to what I like, and then I decorate around that. And then I go through my stash after I've got all the photos printed, and I find paper that talk to me regarding to the pages that I'm doing. So they won't necessarily be theme related, but they'll be just like, oh, that paper I liked, I'm going to cut that up. And so that's really the process, is that I print the photos, cut them out, I lay them out on the page to kind of give me a general idea of what size photos I'm working with. And then I just go wander through my stash until something speaks to me and says, that's the one I'm going to use for that. And 9 times out of 10, my photos don't fit or they could have been a different shape or whatever. And I really just don't care. It's just about getting it done. So for these photos, I found a piece of paper in this recollections pad that I've had for, I don't know, ever. There's probably a date, 2011, and it's pretty. I like it. I've made mini albums and stuff out of it. But so I found that, and that's what I'm going to that I cut apart. I took some of my big double-sided adhesive and I put underneath where I was going to cut, for the most part, not all of it. And I didn't remember to do this through the whole thing, so I have to get in the practice. But that way I don't have to glue around all these little edges. And but I cut apart that, and I cut the whole paper apart, and there was all these other little pieces that didn't really have a place. Well, I could have put them down, but then I wouldn't have journaling space. So well, I gotta check to make sure. Okay. So I'm just gonna set them aside, and there'll probably be another page that those will fit onto. But for the most part, that's how I kind of figure out my pages. So I cut these frames out that were on that sheet, and then all I'm gonna do is glue my photos onto them. Like I said, they don't all fit, but it doesn't matter. It's just about getting it on the page, and so it'll look something like that. And yeah, so I bought this big roll of adhesive because I fussy cut a lot of stuff. And like I said, I remember to do it on some papers and others I didn't. But it makes it really thick to cut, but it's really nice to not have to glue all the edges down. So I tried not to waste it on just straight edges that I had. And then I'll just, let's see, like I could offset it, but I think I'm going to just do something like this because it gives me room to write. Because at the end of the day, the decorations are just for me to play with, but the memories are for all the future that's coming. And most future generations won't care what paper I use to make the page pretty. And so people tend to get hung up on, oh, but your pages are so pretty. I'm just not pretty. I'm not artistic like that. Yes, because it takes artistic ability to cut paper out. First of all, don't make it so hard. It doesn't have to be that perfect. You're making it too hard. This is supposed to be a journal that you can play in that gives your future generations memories of what you're doing. It's not supposed to be something that's going in an art museum when you're done with it. There's nobody to impress but yourself. And there's going to be days when you absolutely love what you did. And there's going to be days when you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to turn the page. This sucks. And I have many pages like that when I'm just like, oh my God, what was I thinking? This is not coming together. But I never quit. I just keep gluing, and then I just turn the page, because it doesn't matter. When you flip back through it, what you hated today, probably you won't hate tomorrow anyways. So this one I'm going to put across the middle. And I always cut anything that goes in the spine, I cut. Because the more you fold into your spine, the harder it is on your spine. And so I try not... It's not so bad if you stick things down there. It's just that folded part gets really thick. And so let me cut this real quick. Okay. Yeah, so it makes your journal just uber thick at the spine, which the Artist Loft journals are sewn, so it's not as big of a deal, if you will. But if you have a glued spine, you definitely want to stay away from putting anything in your spine. But yeah, so just have fun with it. Dig through your stash. If you don't have a stash, just buy a set of colored pencils or pens or a little bit of washi tape or crayons. You can do a lot of stuff with crayons. One of my favorite things to play with, and I haven't done it for a while because when I get behind, I just want to wham bam pages out. I don't get real artistic on them. But one of my favorite mediums is I bought this pack of Crayola markers, and they're awesome. They will bleed through, so you need to put something down if you're going to use them. But if you want to just learn to watercolor, they work great for watercoloring, and they're great for coloring and all kinds of stuff like that. And so I really, those are cheap. A set of colored pistils. Don't do this early in the morning. A set of colored pencils. I can't get this off. Why? There it goes. Is a cheap set of colored pencils. You can doodle your own art, or you can color in coloring pages and glue them on. You can do all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't have to be fancy or expensive or anything like that. Okay, so this will eventually set down, but see, it's really thick, so I usually just stick a clip on it till I'm done. All right, so that's that. And then I've been on an alpha kick, trying to use up my alphas. I keep saying I'm going to just do this and go through them and be gone, but this is my box of alphas and stickers. There's sheet stickers, but mostly it's alphas. Well, no, that's not true. Mostly it's stickers. But I just took a box and made a hut out of it for it. And then I've been trying to use up the alphas for the dates and stuff. I don't use a lot of alphas in general, so this has been a good way to get rid of them. So what's the date? Today is what day? Tuesday, November 10th. So I know there's not a lot of purple in here because nobody does purple. But there is this gray. And that would work. I try not to get too picky about it because 6 days later and I'd still be digging through this box of wonder. Do you use alphas? Do you have alphas? I don't think I've ever purchased alphas.
It's 10:15.
It's 10:15. I don't think I've ever purchased alphas in the sense of, oh, there is a set of alphas, I'm going to buy those. They just always seem to come in things, or I would get them for free. Now, these stick abilities, I have a whole bunch of these. They are from like 2000s, like pre-2010. And there was a scrapbook store that was online, one of the first online, Provocraft. And it went out of business, at least online. And they had all of their stickers for like 5 cents a piece. And I remember feeling like I'd hit the jackpot because I ordered a whole bunch. And now I'm like, why? I still have them. It was so stupid. Luckily, 5 cents a piece. It's not a big deal. So I'm just going to put them, this looks like an empty space. So I'm going to stick Tuesday, TU. Where's a U? TU. That's a big U. Should we do a big U? Oh, why not, right? Go with the fancy frames and the little kid alphas. I don't care. I don't worry about the matching. No, you shouldn't worry about the matching. You shouldn't worry about any of it. It's just get it on the page. And I think the saddest thing is when I see people say, oh, I just don't have anything to write about. Nothing happens in my day or whatever it is. And I think you got up and you could breathe. That's not worth celebrating, especially in today. But I think, that's a great opportunity for you to have a wake up moment in your life and go, well, maybe I need to do something about the fact that I don't have anything going on in my life. But I find that really sad that in my opinion, that means that you don't see what's going on around you in your everyday life. And I don't mean it as a dig or anything like that. I mean it in the fact that there is life going on all around you, and you have decided that none of that is important. None of it. Because nothing in your day happened. And, I just find that incredibly sad. Your days, for it to be important, don't have to be exciting. They don't have to be the celebratory birthdays, But when we stop celebrating every days, we lose touch of who we were as a person while we were living. And I just find that incredibly sad. And I'm always telling people there's always something in your day to write down. And if you just start writing, it starts going and you fill up a page before you even know it. Your page is full. And I wish people would have more appreciation for, the in-betweens instead of worrying about it, there's just nothing going on. And the truth is there's everything going on because you're alive. And if you don't like what's going on, maybe that's a sign that it'd be a good idea to maybe figure out something else to make go on. Find a new hobby, find a new show to watch on YouTube. Everybody's watching YouTube. You're watching YouTube. You're watching me. Find a life. Don't watch me. But, but I find that the saddest posts that I see on the fauxbonichi group is when somebody says, oh, nothing's going on in my life. I only have one sentence worth of the day. Now, at least they wrote something down, but my thing is that something happened in your day. Don't short your day in your life down to a single sentence that says, oh, nothing happened in my day. So for 24 hours, you did absolutely nothing. People want to know. The future generations want to know. Did you do laundry today? Did you hate laundry? I hate laundry. Future generations. But, you know, there's everyday things that I wish I could ask my grandmother, you know, that, gosh, did she, you know, she liked to make quilts and that kind of stuff, but was she always like squeezed for time in between family and husbands and all that stuff, you know? And this is a prime example of an entire page full of stuff that's nothing really. It's just every day. We had butternut squash chili. I made a great big mess in the plant room. I shaved off my basil and it went poof everywhere. And I'm tinkering with a project in my art journal. Okay, I got to move that because it makes it wiggle. Sorry. But that's all my page is going to be about. Food, tinkering, and I made a mess. That's it. But it's what happened. And okay, so it's not exciting. But someday people are going to want to know those little things, you know. Oh my God, great grandma had, you know, pink lights in her plant room or whatever. How funky is that, you know? Or butternut squash chili. Oh, I wonder if she's got a recipe for that somewhere, you know? Or I didn't know grandma or great grandma craft. I do that too, you know? I don't know. It's the everyday that matters. Okay, so here's how we're going to work this. I'm going to stop it here. I'll be right back in your terms because I'm going to try to put several of these together at a time. But I have to go do the journaling, and I'm not doing that on camera because that's too much pressure. But anyways, as far as you're concerned, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like with all the journaling on it, and yeah, so that's done. Turn it in. Turn the page. So where were we? Hold on. Okay, so let's get, next day is the 11th. And so I have this sheet from the Reset Girl, which I don't remember ordering, but I got it with an order, and I'm not a huge fan of her and her stuff, but well, actually, I'm not a huge fan of her, but anyways, that's another story. But so I had these photos, and it just kind of worked. I didn't have a huge story to tell today. Well, I did, but I don't want to tell the whole story, so it doesn't really matter. But so basically, it was a 12 by 12 sheet that had, you've got this today, beautiful, amazing, reset something. I don't know. There was lots of stuff on it. So these were the only words I liked on it. And the reason I thought they spoke to me today was the fact that Joshua got a job. I haven't driven in the snow in 20 years. Snow, ice, nothing. I don't normally drive in the winter, pretty much since he was born. There's a whole story and reason to it, but the long and short of it is that I haven't driven in the snow in 20 years. Well, Joshua got a job, and Josh doesn't drive yet. And that means that I have to drive. So, we went to, he had, got called into work today, and it snowed. And I'm sitting in the driveway telling myself, I can do this because I have to do this. And I don't know how to explain the anxiety I have between this, mostly because people are like, oh, you live in Montana. I used to drive for inventory, and we drove Wyoming, Montana, all over the place doing inventory. And some of the worst weather, I mean, we were truckers. You go no matter what. And then I had Josh, and long story long, I ceased to be able to function in the winter. And I just couldn't be the one that, anyways, it doesn't matter. Point being is that I had him, and haven't driven in the snow since. But now I don't have a choice because I'm the one that told him to go get a job. So I had to go and I had to take him to work. Worst ice storm we've had in years. Not snow, ice. So when I took him to work, it was fine. This is a picture of me having to go get him. It was a sheet of ice all the way down there and all the way back. I mean, the internet exploded with how bad the ice was. We haven't seen ice like this in 100 years, kind of stories. And I'm like, really, Mother Nature, this is how you had to get me going, right? You couldn't start me out with a skift of snow. You had to start me out with black ice. Needless to say, 2 weeks later, we obviously made it home, but oh my God, it was the scariest shit ever. But so that's what this page is about, is the fact that I faced a demon that I've been putting off for 20 years and survived it. I have to say that it did not build my confidence. We did fine. In fact, Josh even said, he's like, gosh, Mom, that was awful, but you did great. We did okay, and it was fine. The other thing is in that 20 years, I bought a new car, and it got dark, and I didn't know where all the buttons were. Luckily, the headlights are automatic, but I didn't know the shifter was different, so I had it in drive but I was too afraid to look down to get it into the lower gears. I need to learn how to drive my automatic manually because I have that option, because that would have helped a lot, but it was a moment. So, what my plan is for this page is to tell that story. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue down these three. But these I'm going to leave as flippies so I have more room to write. Because obviously this takes up the entire page. I did some more organizing, so I have a picture of that, and Benny was helping me put together pages in my journal. And so that's kind of what the story is. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that you don't have to have exciting things, but some days are going to be a little more dramatic than others. Let me see what I've got for washi here. Let's see. Washi. I have a wall of washi wonder over there, but I think this will work. But yeah, so it was it was a cray moment. I'm sitting in the parking lot of Target going, come on. Now, he got off at 4 o'clock that day. And so I thought, okay, it's just getting started. I'll be fine. We'll be able to get home before it's really bad. He ended up having to work overtime till 5:30. It was pitch black by then. And yeah, so oh my God, I was, anxiety, it's a thing. I handle it a lot better now than I used to, especially now that he's grown up. I'm assuming it's not a new to me thing to have anxiety after having a child, but oh man, it kicked my ass. Of course, I didn't realize that's what was kicking my ass before, but I had this obsessive need to it. If something bad happened to him, it not be my fault. And so in order for that to manifest into nothing happened. In other words, I I didn't go anywhere. Gained a bunch of weight, as my hiding, best way to hide is to hide in yourself. And yeah, and then, we homeschooled, which not because of my issues, just because of that's what we wanted to do. But it also unfortunately gave me another out for not having to go out. And yeah, for a lot of years it was not good there. But Joshua became an adult, and he's a functioning human being, and he did just fine. His mother, on the other hand, has a lot of growing up to do. And but she's getting there. All right, so I don't know how this is going to work on the fold there, but that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so if I get stuff off here. Okay. But yeah, and I didn't have a very good support system, and so I had no real reason to get my shit together for many, 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 many years. And you can get lost in yourself, and you don't know it. And people around you, they don't want to hurt your feelings, or they don't want to rock the boat, so they don't say anything or whatever. And oh, I better explain. Okay, so when I use washi tape, I always put down double stick tape, the heavy duty double stick tape, because down the road this eventually won't stick anymore, and so this just makes sure that it's going to stick for life. All right, and so that's basically what I'm doing here. But yeah, you didn't know you were going to get the Felicia and her issues story today, did you? But there was a lot of years that I can remember. I don't know how old. I remember I'd lost a lot of weight, so it had to be around 2016, and I was out in the yard before Whole Food Plant-Based, another whole story. But and I remember my neighbors across the street coming over and saying, "We didn't know you still lived here," because I hadn't been out of the house in 5 or 6 years. But that I don't do that anymore. Obviously, life is completely different now. I still have a lot of anxiety leaving the house, but I have more of the suck it up buttercup to combat that now. Which is funny that, they often say, God, you're not shy at all, though. How come you don't have issues? Just because I'm not shy does not mean that I don't have issues going outside. So, all right, where's my clippy? See, eventually this will fold and it'll be fine. All right. So that's how that's going to go. I should have moved it over, but I don't talk and walk well, and y'all are distracting me. So, yeah, so that's that. I don't know where. Oh, because of this. And so that was the funny for the day, was the fact that, ready or not, here I come, winter. And the only good, well, all of it was good, but the really good thing to me that came out of it was I had always said all along, if I have to, I could do it. If I have to, I could do it. If there was an emergency or there was a good enough reason to be out there, I could do it. See, I should have moved that over, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. I can't move it now because, boy, is it stuck. Oh, wait. Got to go up the line here. But yeah, and the internet really enables you to not have to leave your house too, which is not good. I mean, all my friends are here, and I can order everything I need from here, and yeah, so it makes it hard. And I have a husband and a son who are eager beaver helpers, aka enabling me to not suck it up and get a life. And so it's, I have a lot of excuses to not get my shit together, basically. But I don't do that anymore, pretty much. I think a lot of that had to do with the living whole food plant-based. It really changed it changed how I feel inside, mentally and physically, and it gave me a purpose beyond my brain that I could put my brain to use with. And it wasn't about me. Because I don't do very well taking care of myself. I do better of taking care of others. If it's for Joshua, I'll do anything. But for myself, nope. Nope. And so that's a constant work in progress, is to remember to take care of me. And so now that he's got this job and I have hours of time by myself to reflect on my failings, I'm working on me. Hence why y'all are seeing me more on YouTube. And I have really kind of found my I don't give a fuck. And there's a lot of things that used to keep me from doing the things I love to do. And now I'm doing better at saying whatever. And so that helps a lot. All right, so that is basically how this day is going so far. We need a date. I like this wood grain background that I got going on here, but I don't think matchy is. I don't know. I have brown, but I think it needs to be kind of a block letter of some kind, but not like that. Maybe more. Oh, wait. Right there on top. That'll work. If I've got enough days. Yeah, see, I got a few of these. Just a few. Let's see. It's Wednesday, November 11th. So there's no numbers, but I could use the two L's, so that'll work. WEDNOV. Okay, there's plenty. You have to kind of figure, how. All right, so let's just put it in these little corners here. So W, E, and D. So how about you? What are your closet secrets? It's not really a secret. It's not like I set out to hide it from anybody. It just was what it was. But that's me. Constant work in progress. Isn't that what they always say about life? Constant work in progress. What you doing, Miss Sophie? But yep, that's my poor you story. I'm fairly philosophical about it, though. I don't want to be that way, so I think that helps me keep an eye out for ways to make myself better. And that's why the living whole food plant-based thing was just a life changer for me in so many ways. It brought so much into my life. All right, so there we go. Wednesday, November 11th. my poor me story. Not really. My gosh, you need to suck it up story. I got organizing done that day, and like I said, Benny was helping. So I'm gonna go and do my journaling, and I will be right back. I showed this, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Be right back. We'll probably do, because this one more will make an hour, I think, and so I'll do one more in this video, and then we'll see where we're sitting. All right. Okay, so I got all my journaling done and photos taken. I don't know if I said before, but I'll insert photos so you can see better shots. But this is how all the journaling turned out. And yeah, that's that. Wednesday, November 11th. Yippee! Flip on to November 12th. But yeah, so wow, you got an in-depth, she's got issues story there. All right, so I have them sitting in a table behind me to keep myself organized. I have the simple stories. I can't think of it. All of the bits and pieces for this one, and so that's what this page is about. And in general, I don't really try to match anything, because I used to do that. Okay, well, if there was soup on a page, then I had to find soup ephemera, and if there was, I don't know, plants on a page, I'd do plants and stuff like that. And I try not to do that anymore, because I don't really like the themey stuff. And I guess I could try to come a little closer, right? There we go. Anyways, themey, well, I do like the themey stuff. I don't like you're stuck with it. But so what I did is I took one of the 3x4 journaling cards, and I just kind of cut it out to go and fill up this corner. And this is one of those days that most people would say, oh, I didn't have much to do today. So they write one line, I didn't have much to do today. And I didn't either, but I cooked. And I take pictures of everything. I don't print all the pictures that I take, but I take pictures of everything, because they are my what happened today. And how I learned to do that, people are like, how do you remember to take pictures? It was practice. Many, many years ago, gosh, 7-8 years ago now, I decided that for 1 year I was going to do that photo a day challenge. And that really makes you start looking around your life for those everyday moments. They may be mundane, but it's part of your day. And sometimes it's as simple as just noticing the ordinary, the couch. You change couches at least a couple times in your lifetime, but you never think about the couch. But then you have a conversation down the road and you think, God, do you remember that couch we had? But now you got a picture of it. And so that's why I do a photo a day. But I take photos for everything. I bought, it's older now, but I bought the cell phone simply for the camera, and that's what I use it mostly for. I take literally tens of thousands of photos a year. It doesn't matter if I don't use them in my journal. I just take everything and then I sort through them later. But But what it has done is given us years and years and years of what our everyday life looks like. And that's kind of how the fauxbonichi life happening journaling came about for me, was that it gave me a place. I had all these photos, but now what were they? You know, and so if you ever look back through old photos, you're like, God, why did I take that picture? And there's nothing written on them or anything. So this was my way of writing on the back, if you will, to know what the photos were about. They don't have to be good quality. They don't have to be, you know, big and beautiful. They have to be what it's about, because I have these photos in a folder on a hard drive that I keep. That means that if down the road I ever want to do a big photo of something that I have in my journal, I can go find it. I know the date. I just have to search for it, and it's ready to go. So that's kind of how the photos happened in how my journaling happened. Is I needed a place to tell about my photos and why I took the photos and stuff like that. That wasn't a scribble on the back of the photo, because you can't store all that stuff, you know. And yeah, so anyways, this is what I'm gonna do for this page pretty much. And I roasted up a bunch of our winter squash, and this is our first year of getting to store and eat squash, well, vegetables, if you will, that we grew ourselves. So that's kind of fun, because, you know, normally you don't, you go and you buy this stuff, right? And so we're getting to use stuff out of our own garden. And so that's kind of cool. And so I roasted up a whole bunch of those, and hold on, I can't straighten and talk apparently. And we made curry out of part of it, and some other things out of the rest of it. Brownies are coming and stuff like that, and it was really good. But yeah, it's kind of exciting to grow your own, not only grow it, but actually then get to eat it, you know. And the garden's been closed up since September, so it's kind of fun to, you know, it may have been September since we were out in the yard, but now we are still reaping the benefits of it all these months later, because yeah, so practically free food. Actually, these are free food, because the seeds were saved seeds, and so they didn't cost me anything, and that's always a perk. I won't be doing that anymore though, because some of them came out funky, and I couldn't tell what they were. And I have a limited amount of space to grow vining vegetables like this, and so I have to, like, I don't want to just do the same thing every year. I'd rather grow different stuff while I have time to grow. And so next year it's going to be some winter squash, but mostly it's going to be different winter squash than I grew this year. But I also want to do watermelons and cantaloupes and stuff like that, but not, I want to do the heirloom stuff. So it's like, there's a squash, I can't think of the name of it right now, but like they grow to be 40 pounds. I have to grow that. I just have to. And I found an orange fleshed watermelon that I have to grow that. And then on our arch this coming year, we're going to grow single serve melons. And so I found a bunch of funky rare seed melons that I want to try to grow there, because my thought is that you go out in the garden and you pick a snack, you know. And my vision for my gardens are that the whole yard gets filled up with food, but you wander around and you have to wander to see everything that's out there, because it's not a regular garden with rows and, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, parts of it is, but that's what eventually I hope the whole yard will be, is that it is, you just wander for lunch or a snack or stuff like that. And I want little tchotchkes hidden in it, like gnomes and fairy houses and turtles and stupid shit. I want you to smile as you walk around the yard. We have a half an acre in the city, and so we have plenty of room to grow all kinds of fun stuff. And that's my goal for the upcoming years. I liked, the most fun I had this year is watching people stop at the sidewalk and point to things in the yard. And so that's really, really fun to see that you know, they could have been pointing going, holy shit, what did this woman do to her yard? But I'd like to believe that they were like, oh my gosh, look at that, that's really cool, yada yada kind of thing, you know, because I'm a positive person in general. I don't do people well, but I'm positive in general. And
it's 11:15.
It's 11:15. But yeah, so that's kind of my, here we go. That's kind of my vision for the yard, is I would like to do that. I also would like to I think I'll use those. I don't think I have like orange, because orange would work. I don't want to do red or brown. Hold on, I'm trying to think and walk. But that's kind of my vision for the yard, is that kind of stuff. The other thing I'd like to do is, when I get good enough to have enough produce, is to set a table out on our sidewalk, kind of boulevard area that we've got. I want to be a part of the free food project that they have online. It's kind of worldwide now. And of course there isn't a 2. Shoot. Do I have numbers? Numbers is something I don't have a lot of. Oh, here, I could use these. It's close enough. But I want to be a member of the free food project. So what I want to do is I want to grow a whole bunch of stuff and feed my family. But on the flip of that, I want to also I want to have a table out there so people that are walking down the sidewalk can just take food with them, and everybody gets vegetables. Because I really think that you're never going to convince somebody to do something for themselves, but if you can get them to eat free food that's a vegetable, you have affected their life in a positive way, mentally and physically. And so I think that's great, and that's what I want to do. All right, I can't think and talk. Thursday. So yeah, that's my goal. THR, oops, 1R, THRU, THU, what am H? I can't spell. So I think that would be really, really fun. I don't want to sell it. I want people to eat it. And so that TH, there are you. Oh my gosh, I can't think. TH, how do you spell Thursday? You are. I can't. I'm like, I'm totally blank. I can't think. I just think that would be so cool, you know, and I'd love to get a group together to do stuff about whole food, plant-based, and gardening and stuff here in Billings. There is a title group, meaning in name only, but yeah, I won't get into that. But I can't really, it's really hard to get people interested in anything here. So I don't know how all that's going to go, but we'll see. So Thursday, I wonder if I have enough in this one. N-O-V. Yeah, I'll just finish it in this one. So that's kind of my future goal, and I don't know if any of that'll happen. Because did I mention that I have really bad social anxiety and I don't handle dealing with people very well on the spur of the moment, and so I'm not sure how that'll all work out, but it's a goal, and I'm hoping that I can pull my shit together mentally enough to get out there and do that. The gardening outside has really helped though, because people stop by all the time and they're like, gosh, love what you did with the garden. My favorite one this year though was a family walking by, and I was cooking and I'd come outside to pick some vegetables for dinner, and they're like, every time we walk by here it smells so good. And I thought, that's high praise. So that was really kind of cool. But yeah, so this page, I got my October flip put up, and I got a chickpea curry with wild rice, and my fresh out of the indoor garden tatsoi, and fresh out of the winter garden butternut squash went in it, and so that's that. So I am going to go and journal, and then we'll wrap this video up, and I will get this uploaded so y'all can suffer through and see it. What I did. But if you would like to see more, it's coming. Okay, and so that is how this one turned out. And so I will get these 3 uploaded and start videoing on the next one, because like I said, I have one. Well, it's like laundry. It's never ending. But if you like my story time, there'll be more coming along, and I really appreciate y'all being here. I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you're being able to craft along and you know, get out there and find those everyday memories of your own. They don't have to be awesome. They'll be awesome to somebody else. As I always say, the decorating is for me. The memories are for the future. And if you don't write it down, it will never be remembered. So I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah, we've got the giveaway going on, so don't forget to check that out. I've also got a giveaway going on the Fauxbonichi Journalers group and my Instagram account. I'll put all that information down below. If you daily journal, come join us in the Fauxbonichi Journalers. That would be awesome. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Bye.